Shishimar, His Divine Grace, Founder of ISKCON, Abhacharya, Naravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Grantra Shrimadbhagavatam Ki, Their Most Merciful Lordship, Shri Radhakunja Vihari Ki, Shri Jagannath, Shri Baladev Mahi Subhadra Ki, Srinathaji, Shri Balagopa Ki, Shri Varnitai Ki, Jitai Go Prem. All glories to the assembly. All glories to the assembly. All glories to the assembly. All glories to the Lord Spirit of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Gathered to morning for the glorious purpose of being satisfied with the food that feeds the soul, the truth. The absolute truth, the knowledge of the eternal realm of spirituality. We're reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Dhritarashtra Kwatom. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamujiraya Nasta Prashu Bhadreshu
Nastaptrayashu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Utama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhagavati Naisaki.
Bhagavati.
As a reminder, because it's been a long time since I saw Brian.
Yeah. It's a new class, Brian.
I was mentioning how it might be easier to repeat the words as you hear them rather than as you're trying to read them. Because actually, this is the way Bhagavatam was originally passed down by word of mouth. And because we are accustomed to using the English language more than we are the Sanskrit language, Srila Prabhupada has put it into transliterations, but even if you're not real familiar with transliterations, I know some people have difficulties, which is why I am encouraging here very carefully the way I pronounce it first and then try and repeat it exactly like that, rather than trying to depend upon your understanding of the transliterations, and naturally the transliterations will come. Are we reading text 31
Yes, sir.
today?
31.
So we are reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. Text 31. Ajata Satru Krita. Boy, these glasses are not.
You want another pair of contacts?
No, I have another pair right here.
I see.
I have another pair right here. And I know these, my eyes are accustomed to. Okay. Maitro Hutagnir Ajita Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir
Ajata Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir
Vipran Natva Tila Go Bhumi Rukmai Vipran Natva Tila Go Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Na Chapasya Pitarao Sabalim Cha Na Chapasyat Pitarao Sabalim Cha Ajata Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir Ajata Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir Vipranatpati Lago Bhumi Rukmai Vipranatpati Lago Bhumi Rukmai Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya Na Chapasyat Titaro Sablalim Cha Na Chapasyat Pitaro Sabalim Cha
Ajata Shatru Krita Maitro Hutagnir
Ajata Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir Vipranatpati Lago Bhumi Rukmai
Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya
Griham Pravisto Guru Vandanaya
pasyat pitaro sabalim cha.
Na cha pasyat pitaro sabalim cha.
Ajata Satru Kripa Matro Hutagni
Ajata satro krita maitro hutagni.
Vipran Nadva Tilago Bhumi Mukma
Vipran atpatilago bhumi rukmai.
Graham Pravishto Guru Vandanaya
Griham pravisto guru vandanaya.
Kapasyat Pitaru Subalam Cha
Na cha pasyat pitaro sabalim cha. Ajata satru krita maitro huknagnir vipranat batilago bhumi rukmai. Griham pravisto guru vandanaya. Na cha pasyat pitaro sabalim cha. Ajata, never born. Satru, enemy. Krita, having performed. Maitra, worshipping the demigod. Uta Agni, and offering fuel in the fire. Vipram, the Brahman.
The Brahmanas,
Natva, offering obeisances. Tilago bhumi rukmai, along with grains, cows, land, and gold. Riham, within the palace. Pravishta, having entered into. Guru Vandanaya, for offering respect to the elderly members. Na, did not. Cha, also. Apasyat, see. Pitaro, his uncles. Sobalim, Gandhari. Cha, also. Ajata satru krita maitro huktagnir vipranat batilago bhumi rukmai. Griham pravisto guru vandanaya anachapasyat pitaro sobalam cha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Acharnadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami. Maharaj Yudhisthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmins. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Please repeat. Maharaj Yudhisthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmins. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Maharaj Yudhisthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmins. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Purport. Maharaj Yudhisthira was the most pious king. because he personally practiced daily the pious duties for the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing they should offer respects to the deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the Brahmins in charity land, cows, grains, gold, etc. And at last, offering to the elderly members due respects and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the Shastras cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Modern householders are practiced to different modes of life, namely to rise late and then take bed tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices as mentioned above. The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice. Therefore, the whole generation glides towards hell. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sadhus. Like Dhritarashtra, the materialistic person may take lessons from a sadhu, like Vidura, and thus be cleansed of the effects of modern life. Maharaj Yudhisthira, however, could not find in the palace his two uncles, namely Dhritarashtra and Vidura, along with Gandhari, the daughter of King Subala. He was anxious to see them, therefore asked Sanjaya, the private secretary of Dhritarashtra. Om Jnanatam Randasya Gnandana Salakaya Chakshusun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Now just see how Yudhisthira's heart is towards the care and wonderment of where his uncle is, but his uncle had never shown that same care for him or any of the Pandavas. And so this is the difference in the mentality, which is why Dhritarashtra now is more or less put into a position forced to leave home from the protection of those that, even as revealed here by the heart of Yudhisthira Maharaj, were of the nature to give him protection. But because he had lived such a life, blind, not only blind physically, but blind to the fact that his sons were engaged in such heinous acts against the Pandavas for no reason other than just to want to gain control over the peoples. Now, as I'm coming to learn more and more about the history of Christianity, see a very similar thing here being done by Dhritarashtra and the Kauravas was done at the establishment of the Roman Catholic Church. I don't know how well this is going to be accepted by people watching on YouTube, but to a great extent, what was spoken by the person that Christianity considers to be their savior was obscured in many cases, even though to a great extent what he did say, a lot of what he did say was allowed to get through. But he was not in any ways trying to establish a church or the idea that people had to attend, quote unquote, a church. Now we see here, in the age that Yudhisthira was living 5,000 years ago, he was as manifesting the son of Yamaraj. He's manifesting as the incarnation of religion itself. Well, I've been giving the understanding through the realization I've been receiving about the fact that this vision of Bhakti Vinod, seeing Lord Chaitanya on a golden throne, being worshipped by all the demigods. So now what golden throne is there in the universe, that such a place that all the demigods would find themselves access to as a normal function? Because see, these demigods are all under the control and subservience to Lord Brahma. But now, Lord Chaitanya, manifesting in Leela with Lord Brahma, who is in fact Namacharya, Haridas Thakur.
Oh, for real?
Yes, he is the same.
Brahma.
Yeah.
Lord Brahma is Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. And we see in his life, he is chanting 180 some rounds a day. 192. Sorry. So this means that's what he does. He chants, chants. And so this is an evidence of what he is doing, where he is positioned in the spiritual world. But now, this Leela with Krishna is in effect his bowing down as Krishna, the one he is subservient to. He is himself, by the act of his constant chanting, which is in following the instructions of Lord Chaitanya. He is putting himself in a subservient position to Lord Chaitanya, who's manifesting here on this earth, even though he is himself in the position controller of the universe. Lord Indra controls the upper planetary systems, but as that form of religion given at the time, these activities that he was engaging in then, the worship of the sun god, that's the position Lord Chaitanya is in now. That's what I'm saying. Lord Chaitanya has given him that position, and he will sit on that throne for the length of the golden age. And then once he gets off that throne, just like Krishna getting off of the chariot, things turned into powder, turned into dust. So when Lord Chaitanya gets off that throne of Lord Brahma, then will come the end of the golden age. Now we are at the beginning of it. How many devotees even know or conceive of the reality of this vision of Lord Chaitanya that Bhakti Vinod was having? We don't talk about it very much. But actually it's a very intimate secret.
Yes.
See, I'm living proof that Krishna is still giving secrets to his devotees. And I get secrets every day, because I ask to know things that nobody can answer. I ask questions nobody can answer, except Krishna. Krishna can answer. And I get answers is the thing. According to some people, if you're hearing voices from God, oh boy, you might be a crazy one. In the crazy ward one day.
Mumbling something about Krishna standing in the corner.
But see, the crazy ward might be one of the best places to be most effectively, because some of the people in there are more open-minded. To be able to have faith and realize in a supreme God that can know everything. Then the scientists who think they know everything.
Right.
If everybody chanted, there'd be no need for antidepressants.
Anti what?
Antidepressants.
Depressants, that's a fact, yeah. Although, there are those who chant and take antidepressants.
Oh, for real.
Well, we don't know what we have, see, that's the thing. How many disciples of Srila Prabhupada now are engaged in, to the extent they were when they were living in the temple?
Right.
Because it is the desire that we develop for enjoyment that we think we can derive from some other means that Srila Prabhupada is giving us to realize the nature of the soul. And it is the soul that it is made, the substance it's made of. It is made of such a substance, the knowing of which. See, there in the spiritual world, even the touching of one another. We have a little tiny spot on our body for orgasmic pleasure, what we think of as orgasmic pleasure, a little tiny. The whole spiritual body is made of such a substance, the knowing of which and the touching of which gives bliss, ecstatic bliss. And that ecstasy that it is being described in one word, bliss, is something to know the experience of can only be by the experience of. Just like the tasting of an apple can only be known by the actual biting into it and putting the tongue on it. So the dancing of the tongue on Krishna having a dance on our tongue like he dances on Kaliya's head is done, gives us the opportunity to do that. The dancing with him in the early morning hours that he's calling us and giving us the privilege and opportunity to do and reveal how intimate our relationship with him is by dancing with God. Good bumper sticker. Have you danced with God this morning?
Oh, wait.
Have you had a dance with God lately? Have you sung with God lately? Have you told anybody about the love you're experiencing from God's presence lately? Are you considering yourself to be a friend of God? Because if you are, then you know everything, every power there is working for the purpose of God. And if you're working for his purpose, then everything's working for your benefit too. Makes sense, right? It's almost the same as adding 1 and 1 equal 2. So God's laws are so confounding in one sense, and yet so enlightening in another sense. A question I would like to pose to everyone watching this as a video, maybe on YouTube or wherever. If you have children, could you please take time out of your life, sometime, if you can during every day, but at least sometime, once a week, make it a schedule, once a week, once a month, something, to give your children that they can gain by hearing the knowledge of Krishna book being read to them from your very mouth. And the relationship that will give you with your children will be far exceeding any other relationship you can form with them about any other substance, any other matter, subject matter. Because Krishna himself, sharing their body with them, the children, sharing their bodies with them, is made happy when he hears them hearing about him. It develops, it strengthens their relationship, their friendship. And when they take pleasure in Krishna's activities, they're creating in their minds the environment for them to enter into when they leave these bodies. They'll go there. They're seeing the setting that the boys are having with Krishna when they're eating lunch.
Yeah.
They exchange lunch. just like kids do at lunchtime, right? Krishna does that too. What Mother Yasoda cooked, and he gives it to them. And they all share in that way. That's Vaishnava etiquette. This is Vaishnava passing down the traditions. And see, but everybody is getting prashadam in that way when they're already in Krishna's presence. So everything, I heard it said, Srila Prabhupada, everything in Vrindavan is prashadam.
What you mean, everything in Vrindavan is prasad?
Well, prashadam means mercy.
Yeah, right.
So if you go to Vrindavan, the people that are holding jobs there, they're not normal jobs. They're selling japa, they're selling beads, they're selling tulsi beads to put around your neck, they're selling dhotis, they're selling kurtas, they're selling paraphernalia for you. This is what they do. That's business in Vrindavan. It's all related to the worship of Krishna. And see, this practice now that we're revealing about Yudhishthira Maharaj, in India, in a great many households, this is a daily practice also. And this is how Gayatri has come to be passed down. I gotta move my legs, they're getting into a cramped position again. Oh my God, it's just terrible. Please don't hold it against me that he got a mortal body.
Okay.
One day though, see, that's what self-realization means. The realization with our consciousness, with our minds, that we have the ability to create with. And Krishna is giving us through the revelation, the realization that we gain through the application of his teachings about controlling the consciousness in such a way that we can see reality. We go outside and look at the universe. It's an illusion. What we're seeing is an illusion. But what Krishna will reveal to us through our sincere endeavor to participate in the acts that he has given us to participate in, he will give us the vision to see. See, we're reading, and each and every one of us are seeing individually in a little bit different way that the text is revealing. From our own personal experiences with the same kind of activities that we're saying when we say worship. Worship means one thing to me, worship means one thing to someone else. Worship means dressing Krishna. Worship means offering paraphernalia to Krishna. Worship means cooking for Krishna. Worship means chanting Krishna. Worship means meditating upon Krishna. Worship means performing a fire sacrifice, so many, and worshiping the sun god. But now, see this act of the sun god, worshiping the sun god? If Lord Chaitanya now is on that throne, you're worshiping the same way the demigods are. But because of the environment they are put into, because of their previous pious acts, they have no means of renunciation. Those bodies that they are in are not made for renunciation. Our bodies, subject to mortal pain and suffering the way they are, renunciation in this dwelling that we are in is much more easy to take part in, because these bodies weren't made because of pious acts we've engaged in. Coming to Krishna can be looked at as that which Krishna has seen favorably to attract us to him. But it's mercy, it's prashadam, it's mercy that we have, in fact, been given the privilege by Krishna, and it's described as being causeless. We might accredit Krishna with thinking of us as somebody special by the way that he treats us, which gives us full. We were talking the other day about how the fact is that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield to Arjuna specifically. And then he tells Arjuna why. Because you're my friend. We have been friends. Revealing that it was the love that they had shared with one another through their lives that drew Krishna to want to give this to Arjuna specifically. But then look at us. He's giving it to us. He's giving it to all of mankind in this age. That in and of itself is a fulfillment of the prophecies that say will happen in the golden age. Knowledge of God will cover the earth like the waters cover the seas. Now, how available is Bhagavatam? How difficult it is for anybody to be able to open. Just put it on Google search, Bhagavatam, there it is. Anybody, without qualification. We don't have to be of any higher class, any priestly class. No matter what class we are, Bhagavatam is making itself known to us and following its instructions and being given the realization, the means to form in our minds those activities that are going on will give us a glimpse. Krishna is enabling us by that vision we get while we're being read to about this. When it said, Yudhisthira was worshiping the sun god, you envision in your mind a great king, Yudhisthira, as upright as any can be, as admired for having the qualities of. When he refused to even God himself to lie, to speak what he considered to be a lie, which was not actually a lie, but there's a truthfulness itself. And there's a very sublime revelation that this pastime with Yudhisthira gives as well, because Yudhisthira is the incarnation of religion. So religion and God are both separate, although religion is meant to give us the fullness of God's presence. But religion in and of itself is not complete if it is not practiced for the knowledge, for the fulfillment of the presence of God, if it is practiced politically to impress some people with influence on how great a member of society we are, or how beautiful we can dress on a specific day, or whatever is in our minds, that we're going to quote unquote church for. It should be a continue, if it's a if love of God is a 24-hour experience with God every day, then what change do we have when we're going to the temple of God? If our bodies are, in fact, that temple in which God is dwelling. So if God is dwelling in his temple 24/7 every day, and we are that temple, then our realization of that constantly brings us to the place to know we're celebrating Krishna's presence at every moment. Love is available to know in the sublime experience of the presence of the Supreme that is in control of everything, that has all power. See, I was asking Krishna, how would it be that I could come to understand this about you? Because see, this name of Lord Chaitanya in the form of Vishvambar. Vishvambar means the one who is in the power of turning the world. That's Vishvambar.
Yes.
And they were calling Lord Chaitanya that. They were, yes. And so in that statement, what he is revealing the reality of who he is as well. He's the controller. So by us worshiping that form of Lord Chaitanya, see, he gives realization as well of himself according to the desires we have to be perfected in, right? We want to be great musicians. We want to make beautiful sounds to glorify God with. He reveals that flute playing of his own. I told you about that story one time. We went down to the edge of the water, preaching. This young boy was fishing, you know. And I go down there while I'm chanting japa, and I used to preach to some of these guys fishing. And I saw this young boy there. So I thought I'd somehow inspire him. I said, "Do you play any musical instruments?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "I played a saxophone." I said, "Really? Wow." I said, "God plays a flute." I said, "But that flute is unlike any other flute in this world." And I said, "If you can hear this flute, Prabhu, a flute started playing. Right now, my hairs are standing on end talking about it." This was off the end of the pier over here. And his eyes got this big. All I could see the whites of his eyes, you know. Mine too. He said, "I hear the flute." I said, "Yeah, I hear it too." And I didn't know where it's coming from. Here I'm telling him about Krishna's flute. Then came the realization to me. Yeah. Krishna's playing every flute. The breath we have comes from God. We're given a certain amount of breaths at birth. We don't know that. But see, this mantra as well gives such perfect use of the breath. No breaths are deducted when you use the breath to speak Krishna's name. And this is evidence he has full control of life and death as well. So, see, they say, you see devotees, and a lot of times I have devotees tell me that, "You haven't aged anything. I saw you 10 years ago. You're still the same person I saw 10 years ago." But so are they, you know, and so are you. And all those that come in contact with Krishna, you'll see. It's like when they come to Krishna, that's where they stop aging, you know. You stop losing any hair anymore. Because Krishna is accrediting you. And eventually we come to the stage. Narad Muni was there from birth of Lord Brahma. Krishna gives him the ability to go to any planet in the whole universe he wants to go to. And the time to choose when he leaves this universe, he has access to the spiritual realm to come and go as he pleases. And I was reading yesterday, 7th canto, when Vamanadev took his first step from the approval of Bali Maharaj. Can I take 3 steps? Will you give me that much land, right? Bali Maharaj agreed. Well, his first step outside of the universe, he had the holes, it says, of the universe in his mid-waist area. But in the description of it, Srila Prabhupada says there are multiple holes in the universe. After having read this the first time and going back again the second time for the purport, now I hadn't realized there was more than one hole in the universe, because this very act of kicking a hole in the universe was what I thought was the only hole. Now, this is going to get peculiar. But let me tell you something. We have an outer covering of the universe that is as close to us as the sun. And it's very easy to see the sun, is it not? The opening in the universe with another universe right next to it and other surrounded by other universes. See, in fact, can be looking to us like stars. So this again, I'm hoping one day before I leave this planet, I want to be able to show. Maybe we even get a camera that can take pictures of what's being seen through the telescope, because we will be able to see the navel of Mahavishnu. And if we point it in the right direction, I've already seen this myself from satellite, and they don't know what it is. But with a devotee who has self-knowledge and knowledge of Vishnu, and where these are coming from, it becomes obvious. And then we'll be able to see the openings in the universe for what they are. Because this is how the universe is an illusion, and Krishna, by our meditation, can correct the meditation that we each day gain closer to the perfection of. So that meditation we have of Krishna seated on the golden throne as the controller of the entire universe, as we picture him as that with our minds, 3 times a day, Krishna increases our ability to see the perfection that is, and to see him in his perfection. See, devotees come here and they say, even my mother's pretty much leaning with my father towards atheism, but first thing she said to me, they're so beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know she's glorifying God, you know. But see, it is the energy that Krishna sees us applying towards wanting to reveal to him how we feel about him. That he takes pleasure in that. And that is what he's calling bhakti. So, we might read the Bhagavad Gita and think, oh, I'll just do that. I'll just offer God something. But there's a prescribed method. The same way as is described in the Bible. People say, well, I'll go worship a form of God. I'll just fashion something out of the earth and worship that. But it's not prescribed as that. But that does not mean that there is not a prescribed manner to do that with. And so this that Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita as a offering to humankind, as an act that they can partake in, is that by qualification. There's no qualification for chanting Krishna's name, which is the Dharma. But there is qualification for offering him food. There is qualification for dressing him. So, but there's no qualification for repeating what you've heard about him. We can be any kind of nonsense, walk into any bar. In fact, the scriptures say if you do see a devotee walking into a tavern, don't immediately think that he's going in there for a drink.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
Because preachers are willing to go to hell.
Okay.
Tell a Christian that, oh no, I'm not going to hell. No, I won't go to hell. Not for no reason. Yudhisthira, he didn't go to hell, but he was forced to smell hell momentarily. Only because of that one moment that he resisted to tell Krishna, to speak what Krishna had told him to say. He said, Ashwatthama is dead. No, he wouldn't say that though. And the reason, see, then Ashwatthama's father, Duryodhana, would have believed that his son had died. And in Yudhisthira's mind, giving someone a perception that is not true is a lie. See? But doing it for the sake of protecting an army of people, that's a different story. And it is revealed in the laws of Scripture. I just read it yesterday. Funny, I was thinking about that. And I don't remember all. There's like 6 or 7 causes that a man can lie. Saving a marriage, stopping a war, saving a life, protecting wealth, keeping a thief from a robbery. These kinds of things allow religion, the Dharma set by Krishna, and not necessarily religion, because religion is established to help keep order in the society. So religious laws protect society from the acts it would otherwise engage in to destroy itself, right? But that spoken directly from God can actually transcend religion. And this is why God is so much imposing upon all of humanity at this time, that he wants to establish within us the understanding of the closeness that relationship is, because the hardships that are coming, I can't help but want to keep promoting this idea because it's so simple in this day and age for us to be prepared for this time and to be able to find a safe place. Not that there won't be hardships that will have to be endured after that, but to keep from having to leave our bodies when the situation comes that's coming. With the melting of the ice caps, there's going to be a complete loss of communications that we're using now. But with the realignment of the poles will come as well, because our consciousness, this is an electromagnetic force that is keeping the earth in line. We are energy from God that can be affected as we see. You stick your finger in electromagnetic force, you won't be in this planet for long if it's enough, right? So it is the soul also effects of electromagnetic forces that can cause it, disturbances. And right now we are not aware within this very room how many electromagnetic forces are having effects on the interaction and the chemical reactions that are going off in our brain that are responsible for memory. And they are coming to find out now how many of these electromagnetic you might call them like they're radio waves. It's the same way they put out radio waves from a broadcasting station. And there are thousands of them. If we go worldwide, probably closer to millions of those. Broadcasting electromagnetic waves into the air that you can't see. But you can see the effects of in human beings and this rise in dementia and these things. We, as a people who are supposed to be represented by government leaders, need to inform those government leaders who've got their minds so involved in fighting with one another that they don't know the common people's problems that they're suffering from, that they themselves don't have the ability to change. Allergies of milk, allergies of peanuts. These things are being caused by activities by other human beings that are producing these things without full knowledge of the effects of the processes they're putting these things through. And that is why. So if we make a concerted effort to communicate these problems, I have a small little 3-paragraph letter I am writing to representatives. I have an address of all representatives, which I found out yesterday. It took me about a half hour just to put into my website or my email address all of their addresses, and I only got through about
To who?
to the representatives. I only got through maybe 20, 30 of them or so. It's quite timely process, which is why I'm requesting help. If anybody would like to help me sending out things, I can send you addresses that I haven't sent to, and then you can and I'll send you the letter, which if you want to put your own personalized thing into it and just rewrite it and put the same emotions. But we want to know, why are people now sick more than ever before from drinking milk? Why are people sick more than ever before of eating peanuts? And I know the reason. And we reveal that in the letter. And hopefully then we will have the happiness of seeing them respond and do something. I've seen this before, and it's glorious when we know that our voices can be heard by Washington, and we can, by putting our voices sound into the proper ears, we can actually get things done and get people who are put in their professions to act upon the abilities they have been given and put in those positions to make some changes in them. We can all be happier and live healthier as well. Any questions, any comments, any realizations? Anybody like to share while you are meditating on the Supreme Personality? You got it. Yes, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. I missed part of your class because I had to go back behind the altar and take care of a few things. But the part that I did hear is very enlivening. So thank you, Prabhu, for such a wonderful class. Your personal association is itself very enlivening. So thank you for giving us your association very freely. It is a great blessing upon us. We see, we read in the pages of Shrimadbhagavatam how even completely conditioned souls, as Dhritarashtra was, we understand how their consciousness was uplifted simply by associating with great souls like Vidura. So the power of association is immense, more than can be expressed in words.
See, by this association you're giving me now, you're reminding me, we had a prison ministry from Detroit. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Chandrasekhar has taken that over. But it is relevant as well to this time and age that we can give these truths that can free these prisoners while they're inside their prison house. While they're inside a barred prison, they can be free in their consciousness from the prisons, the same way we can be free from the prison of these mortal bodies and experience the consciousness of the eternal dwelling while we still dwell in these mortal bodies, which this chanting of Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
That's going to bring us to that state of awareness and experience where love is found. Love of God, love of Krishna. Anyone else have anything like this?
So my question is, Prabhu, Maharaj Dhritarashtra had the association of Vidura even before his entire dynasty was wiped out in the battle. So why is it that the transformation only occurred toward the later stages of his life? Why is it that the divine association of Vidura did not transform him and help him see the error of his ways earlier in his life, which could have saved him and his entire dynasty?
You're bringing out a really good point now, too, because, see, people come here for all different kinds of reasons as well. We used to have people coming here just to look at the building because they were told to get a tour through the fish match, and then they end up. See, with Dhritarashtra being blind, he's in a predicament. Think about it. This that he's had shelter for all of his life. Now, if he'd be forced out under ordinary circumstances, by choice, he would be able to kind of live with himself. But now, he's forced out because of the mentality he has had all those years before, that he in fact rejected Vidura's good advice all all time. They were living together before this. And it wasn't until that acceptance, but that acceptance is coming what? Why? Now. After everybody's dead, and the proof is made manifest. Yeah, after the war was lost, then good time to make the decision now when his life is at stake. Why not make it to protect someone else's life when Mother Draupadi, right, was in the...
Now or never.
Yeah, now or never. So, yeah. And so this brings out as well the intents and why and how it affects the purity of the offering. Yeah, he's going into the forest now, but it's tainted. It's tainted with that going out because he has to, not because he wants to. Not out of love for Krishna. It's going out now out of just a desire, the environment of his consciousness that he's created now by having taken this animosity against previously the very principles now that he's expecting will provide him with this well-being to continue his existence in the palace that he's not worthy of. And that's what karma does. It drives us out by force.
Yes, but it's very unfortunate and ironic that these people, they had the personal association of the personality of God and himself, and so many pure devotees, and yet didn't take advantage of it while we are here struggling like anything for even a glimpse of the spiritual world. These people had everything and rejected it.
But look at Bala Maharaj. Look at Bala Maharaj. He gained control over Indra's whole kingdom.
Yes.
And that was all by engaging in pious activities. And yet he became a big demon against Krishna. Krishna had to step in and take over the power he had gained control of. So it's the intent that we come to organizations of spiritual paths or whatever organization we're coming into. Some people will go into an organization for the association and the common belief they have with what the establishment is made for. Some people will come in with monetary gain, and in fact, I can make these people my customers. I can sell them all my product. And so the different intent produces different results. And they're all promising. And so Bhagavatam is promising a little more than what the Bible is. And it is revealing more truths about everything than anything written in either the Bible or the Quran or the Book of Mormon or any of these individual books could contain within themselves. The 30 volumes of Shrimadbhagavatam, far superior, revealing to all religious paths the intricate details of why their paths were given to them to follow, and the limitations of each path. And that gives the followers the ability to make an honest decision. You know, you can't make a decision about a book without reading it. And yet most people do that about every other religion besides the one they're following. It's like bred into the belief system of the religion, which in effect says, too, that God is looking for many different kinds of flowers in his bouquet. And they are all right for the particular qualities that they have within themselves, which is why this always leads me to encourage those members of society that have the ability to organize groups of people. We can have sinless cities, and they can all be different faith systems, because all the people working within the confines of their belief systems will themselves be able to restrain themselves by one another's association and help in living amongst one another and experience that highest form of consciousness that each and every path that is available is offering to its followers within the confines of its own building. So just like we used to have malls, shopping malls, where everybody goes to the delights of their mind's content, buys whatever they want, brings it home. But see, these could be places, these could be cities. These malls were big enough to house 1,000 people. And you have the whole house in one phase system, governed and living with people who have shared the same faith system, the same laws governing them, with the same consciousness being manifest from birth. Once they know the process of bringing children with consciousness, self-realization from birth. This is what Bhagavatam is giving us awareness of, and how to do that. And it is by us as human beings taking these teachings and for the greatness that they have to offer us, the knowledge, to be able to pass this knowledge. If we can't do it ourselves, which I can't do anymore, but by passing this knowledge on to the younger generations that can, then this is the real means. By promotion of love of God and knowledge of what love of God brings, we do create a super race. But it's not by killing off everybody else, it's by consciousness that a super race is created. And this chanting of Hare Krishna is the means of automatically developing that consciousness. It solidifies that relationship we have had with the Supreme since time immemorial, and now awakening us up to the availability of all the doors of opportunity open to all those who surrender their lives to the controller of everything and allow him to reveal to them the kind of happiness they can have by surrender, the kind of knowledge they can receive by surrendering, and the kind of open-mindedness they can have to the sufferings of others, and desire more for the benefit of others, even for themselves. And this is what sacrifice is said to be described as the greatest that we can give. We lay down our lives for the benefit of others. This is what Krishna consciousness is. We lay down our lives for the furtherance of Krishna's teachings, and in so doing, then, we are giving that which is needed most by mankind. I go on, we could go on for days and days, but we won't. Jai. Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.